How's it going on Monday, February 13th, 2023? The best gloves on the baseball field, all time defensive player matchups. I've done catchers, first base, second, third, short, left, center, and this video, right fielders. Who's the best defensive right fielder in the Baseball Hall of Fame? There's a lot of right fielders in the Hall of Fame. There's 26 of them I'm going to cover. These are the categories. If you look at the categories, you can determine where they rank and what their percentages were in the category. Games played, fielding percentage, chances, putouts, assists, double plays, innings, and fewest errors. Here are the 26 right fielders. Roberto Clemente, Sam Rice, Paul Waner, Harry Hooper, Henry Aaron, Mel Ott, Tony Gwynn, Willie Keeler, Reggie Jackson, Dave Winfield, Larry Walker, Sam Crawford, Vlad Guerrero, Ennis Slaughter, Harry Heilman, Sam Thompson, Elmer Flick, Chuck Klein, Andrew Dawson, Frank Robinson, Ross Youngs, Tommy McCarthy, Tony Oliva, a guy named Babe Ruth, Kiki Kyler, and King Kelly. Who's the best defensive right fielder in the Hall of Fame? Who has the most games played? Roberto Clemente, 2,305. And there are 8 guys who played 2,000 games in right field. Clemente, Sam Rice, Paul Waner, Harry Hooper, Henry Aaron, Mel Ott, Tony Gwynn, and Willie Keeler all played over 2,000 games. Here's a question I have. Who has the best fielding percentage of right fielders? Surprised me. Tony Gwynn, .987 fielding percentage. How many games did he play? Tony played 2,144 games, and he had a fielding percentage of .98, which is number 1. Larry Walker, 2. Frank Robinson, 3. Winfield, Dave Winfield, and Andre Dawson make up the top 5. What you do is you go to Baseball Reference, and you look up their fielding percentage career. Tony Gwynn had the best. How about that? Way to go, Tony. Chances. According to right fielders, who had the most chances recorded? These are Hall of Famers. Paul Waner, 4,899. How many games did he play? Paul Waner played 2,245 games, and he had 4,899. But how about, let's do the what if. What if all 26 guys play the same number of games as Roberto Clemente because he's number 1 in games played? Clemente had 2,305. Let's make all 26 play the same number of games. Look at their percentage of how many chances they got per game. See who comes out on top. Paul Waner still comes out on top because he averaged 2.2 chances per game. So he leads with 4,899, but if you add another 60 games, so he catches Clemente as far as the most games played, he would have ended up with 5,031 chances, and that's number 1. Kiki Kyler, number 2. Tony Oliva, number 3. Tommy McCarthy, number 4. And Vlad Guerrero, number 5. If you go according to percentages and the possible chances. So Paul Waner comes out on top on chances. How about putouts? Right field. Who had the most putouts? Paul Waner again. 4,533 putouts. Do a what if? He averaged 2.0 putouts per game. He still comes out number one in putouts. He would have had a possible 4,653 putouts if he played 2,305 games. Assist. Who has the most assists among right fielders in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Interesting. Harry Hooper, 333 assists is number one. If you look at all the 26 guys, he comes out on top, number one. How many games did he play? Harry Hooper played 2,183 games. So he doesn't have the most games, but he comes out with the most assists. And if you do a what if, this is interesting. Out of all the guys, if they all play the same number of games, 2,305, who would come out with the best percentage of assists per game played? King Kelly. Oh my God, he's way old school. He's like 1880s. Yet he averaged 0.38 assists per game played. How many games did he play? King Kelly. Not that many, because he's in the old school. King Kelly only played 750 games in right field. So can you measure it against the other guys? You have to. So you would add 1,555 more games for King Kelly. If he's averaging 0.38, excuse me, he would have came out with 875 possible assists, and that would be number one. I'm doing a what if. Excuse me. Harry Hooper has the most recorded, 333. But King Kelly, if he had played all those games and kept to his average for every game, 875. Interesting. Double plays. Who had the most double plays in right field? Harry Hooper, 86 double plays. He's number one. Do the what if. Tommy McCarthy would have won the what if because he would have ended up with 115 double plays. Why? Because he averaged 0.05 double plays per game played. Add in all the games for Tommy McCarthy, and he would have ended up with 115 possible double plays. That's interesting. Innings. Who has the most innings in right field? You got to assume it's Roberto Clemente. Nope. Paul Waner ends up number one in innings played, 19,947. Clemente is number two, 19,920. That's a difference of 27 innings. Paul Waner, even though Waner played about 60 games less than Clemente, he ended up with more innings. Maybe that indicates that Waner went more extra inning games. Could be. And maybe Clemente came out early in some games. Could be. But Waner comes out number one. And here's the last category. Who had the fewest errors in right field? Frank Robinson only committed 32 errors in his whole career in right field. But how many games? Played 1,270. So can you gauge it? If Clemente plays 2,300 and Robinson plays 1,200, that's half, right? But let's add the games, because if Robinson played another 1,200 games, his average is not as good. It's 0.03. So he would have ended up with a possible 63 errors. You know who beats him? Tony Gwynn. He would have had the fewest errors possible if he played 2,305 games, because he averaged 0.03 errors per game. Tony Gwynn if he played 2,305 games, would have committed only 60 errors. Very good, Tony. All right, last thing you want to do. How do they rank? How do all these guys rank? 26 of them. We just did all the categories. How do they rank in each category? If you're number 1 and so forth, or if you're number 26, your score will be affected. The lower the score, the better the rank. Who comes out on top as the best defensive right fielder of all time? Paul Waner. He ranked number 3 in games played, number 10 in fielding percentage, number 1 in chances, 1 in putouts, 14th in assists, 13th in double plays, but 1 in innings, and 11th in fewest errors. His score, 54. That's the lowest. So he's ranked number 1. Who's number 2? Roberto Clemente. His score, 73. Next, Larry Walker, 74. Harry Hooper, 79. Henry Aaron, 79. See, the scores are going up, and that's where they rank. Mel Ott, 83. Tony Gwynn, 84. Dave Winfield, 86. Kiki Kyler, 88. Vlad Guerrero, 110. Tony Oliva, 114. Reggie Jackson, 115. Sam Crawford, 116. Willie Keeler, 116. Chuck Klein, 119. Tommy McCarthy, 119. Andre Dawson, 120. Ross Youngs, 120. Ennis Slaughter, 121. Sam Thompson, 126. Sam Rice, 127. Frank Robinson, 128. Harry Heilman, 133. Babe Ruth ranks 25th in defense, 134. And King Kelly, 154. Remember, I'm covering defense only. Who's the best right fielder of all time and the best right fielder defensively in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Who is it? According to the ranking, Paul Waner wins it. And Clemente is second. He had a good arm, Clemente. Woo! Have you seen those videos where he throws the ball from right field to home plate? Woo! Larry Walker, he's up there. He's number 3. Harry Hooper and Henry Aaron. How about Tony Gwynn coming in first in fielding percentage? But in the other categories, he ranks a little higher. 21 in assists, 25 in double plays. See. So this book, I do a lot of research. I looked at all the stats, looked at their career achievements in defense. It's listed on baseballreference.com. Look it up. What do you think of that analysis? All right, next video, pitchers. Who's the best defensive pitcher? Not offense, not how many games you won, not your ERA, but the defense. The pitcher makes fielding percentage. He takes chances. He has putouts. He has assists. He's involved in double plays, innings, and fewest errors. Who comes out number 1 among pitchers on defense? Stay tuned. Next video, I'm out.